The Winter Classic is finally almost here. We're going to preview the game with Nick Foligno, Taylor Hall, Arvid Söderblom, Petr Mrázek, Nolan Allan, Mario, and me. Coming up next on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Happy Monday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Winter Classic Preview Show. I'm Jay Zawaski with Mario Tirabassi. Sarah's here running the show. As always, we got a lot to get to today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Looking forward to today's events, tomorrow's events. The Winter Classic is finally here at long last. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno. They were on with What Chaos. Shared some thoughts about playing in Winter Classics past, so that'll be fun. Got a chance to catch up with Nolan Allan after practice the other day just to get his thoughts on playing his first outdoor game. Got up close and personal with Petr Mrázek and Arvid Söderblom, who revealed their helmet designs for the Winter Classic. Both very cool.
They have the colors of the team.
The colors.
The stripes.
I will say Söderblom was a little better this year in describing a little bit better in describing it. He must be feeling a little more confident.
Oh yeah.
So we got a lot to get to. So we're gonna do that. Well, before we do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube page as well. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Make sure you are following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app. So before we get to all of our video features, it's been a long time coming. Like we've been thinking about this day and thinking about this game for what feels like, really all season. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it with the Road to the Winter Classic and the camera crews following Alex Vlasic around, and they're at every practice. And it's been kind of an ever-present thing, and it's cool that it's finally here.
Yeah, it's given something a little extra to this season, and it's given something that, like, as the season has gone on and it hasn't been great, it's still like a fun event to look forward to. It's something that can be unique. And I think the players are going to, I hope, they respond to it well because it is something different. It's something that can break up the slog of a season.
For sure.
And this feels like this team is headed for a slog part of their schedule here. And you get this event. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun to have the city, embrace another outdoor game, another Winter Classic. Wrigley Field, from everything that we've seen, looks like it's going to be really cool. Yeah. We're going to get to see it today, later for Blackhawks practice and everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure this, fans in the city are looking forward to it, and hopefully the players are too. I know they're in a bit of a slump, but it's definitely something that to get up for.
Yeah, and I know it can, especially after the way the game last night went and the game against Buffalo went. I think people are feeling a little bit of an all-time low this season, and I don't know. I hope that fans can sort of separate. This season sucks. The team has not been what we've hoped they were. They've gotten their ass kicked in the last 2 games. They've lost 4 in a row, and just kind of enjoy the Winter Classic for what it is. Yeah. It's a spectacle. It's an event. It's really hard to tell how the games are going to go. Even the really great Blackhawks teams didn't fare very well in outdoor games.
Right, yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm going to try to do my best to just enjoy the experience.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it's your first time covering one. It's definitely my first time covering one in person, being at the arena where it happened. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like for us today at Wrigley doing media day. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never been in the renovated Cubs locker room. The one I was in was the little shanty that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I've only been to Wrigley a handful of times since the renovations, and I've attended an outdoor game 11 years ago when Soldier Field hosted, I think it was Wisconsin, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and Miami, Ohio. Randomly.
Oh yeah.
And I went to one of the outdoor games there. sat so far away, could barely see what was going on the ice, except for like when goals were happening. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the sight lines are, and I think you say like hopefully the atmosphere is there. Like you look at the way the game started last night, packed United Center, like a big buzz in the building. Team was playing well up until the second period started. So I have a feeling that it's going to be done up well. I have a feeling that Wrigley Field and that whole area is going to have a really good energy to it, regardless of how this team has been playing.
Well, Wrigley Field is used to hosting mediocre teams that and still having enthusiastic fans.
Oh yeah.
Landon in the chat says, "I'll take a crappy few months of hockey if we can just win this game, the most important one of the year. So many eyes on the game. A good performance could change the national narrative of this team. It will be interesting to see how the Hawks are covered. From what I understand, we were at the game for 2 of the 3 periods, like pretty critical of the Hawks. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Winter Classic is, in the NHL's mind, their marquee event, and I can't imagine they're going to spend too much time bagging on either team. I think they're really going to try to focus on the positives. Mm-hmm. They're going to talk about Connor Bedard. They're going to talk about Frank Nazar and Alex Vlasic. Like, I think they're going to do everything they can to prop both teams up as much as they can, because let's be honest, like, the Hawks are the worst team in the NHL record-wise and, frankly, performance-wise.
Yeah, performance hasn't shown anything different.
Yeah, St. Louis is about as mid as they get. There's just not a lot of storylines to sell aside from, hey, look at this cool stadium. Look at these exciting young players that are pretty good and are going to be really good someday. And I think they're really going to lean on that angle of things, because you're not going to have them turn the game on and then be like, well, these Blackhawks suck. Look at how horrible they're playing.
Really drives down the atmosphere for that. I mean, it's a lot different than when the last time it was here at Wrigley Field, where you had established up-and-coming Blackhawks against defending Stanley Cup champion Red Wings. A lot different than that. But, yeah, I think the focus is going to be on the young guys. It's going to be Bedard heavy. I think that's the best way to go, because that's what to the masses in a general sense. That's what the Blackhawks are selling, is the future. It's Connor Bedard. It's this next crop of young guys that are going to be coming up, and he's the face of it. So I think that's what the focus will be on. And then to what Landon said, like, even if the game is like, even if the weather conditions suck and it's a slow, sloppy game, if the Hawks can just win, like, that would just be so nice.
It would really make
I would love to be talking tomorrow night about, like, I don't care how ugly it is, like, just a win would just be so nice, because that it feels like you're winning like when you have like those mid-season tournaments, or like college hockey this weekend. Was doing all their, like, back from the holidays, like, mini tournaments. Like, oh, you won 2 games and now you're a tournament champion. Woo! Like, to win the Winter Classic, like, it gives you, even if it's like for a day, you just feel like, we won something special.
Didn't the Capitals put a banner up for Winter Classic?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I'm
really?
almost certain that the Capitals, when they beat the Hawks in the Winter Classic, put a banner up for it. Like Winter Classic champions or Winter Classic winners, whatever. It's almost like I would almost equate it to opening day of baseball.
Yeah,
where losing an opening day feels like the most painful loss of the season, because you're just so excited.
It's over,
and you're building up all this anticipation, and then you end up losing. But I do think back to the 2009 Classic, and the Hawks did lose that game, but I don't think anyone left that feeling like losers. I think it was pretty apparent that, while that game didn't quite go the Hawks' way, that they were next in line. And it had that, like you said, they're coming, they're up against the defending champs, and the torch is about to be passed. I think there was that level of excitement for that. I'm going to be really interested to see how the atmosphere compares. I was at that game in 2009 on a rooftop. Horrible mistake. I was so freaking cold. And then they raised... I'm like, oh, this is a great view. And then right before the game, they raised a video screen that completely blocked 2/3 of the rink for me. Yeah. But I'm interested to see how the atmospheres are, not just because of where the team's at, but because of the fact that the Hawks have played in so many of these.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's lost its luster a little bit, but I do think anytime, Wrigley Field comes back into the fold, it creates a lot of excitement for people. And I know there's a portion of people that don't care about Wrigley
Yeah,
Field,
sure,
but it is still a historic venue and a cool place to be. So
yeah, I mean, when they have these events in those kinds of arenas and stadiums, like it is pretty cool to think about Notre Dame Stadium. It's been at Fenway, having it at Wrigley. Like they've been in some really cool places. So yeah, I mean, it's always cool to have the aesthetics of Wrigley and the history of everything. I think it's something that's still a lot of people tap into and enjoy.
yeah, and I'm wondering, how big of a St. Louis contingency will there be there?
Yeah. Well, we know Windy City Hockey, who's from St. Louis but is a Blackhawks.
We count him as Chicago contingency.
They made the trek, so that's good. That's good to see.
We got to make a special request for. He usually brings us gummy bears, but for Cole, have him bring him Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots.
The ice cream of the future.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he can. That's been the ice cream of the future for 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he can. I don't know where we're going to be. We're going to find out today exactly where we're going to be perched at the at Wrigley.
We're going to scope out that area. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll make it known where we're going to try and do a little bit of unofficial meet and greets, locations, and everything. Yeah, we'll figure that out, and then because the Fan Fest starts tomorrow at like 10:30 in the morning. And then it's free if you're in that area to go to that. I don't believe you need a ticket to the game to go to the Fan Fest area. So we'll probably find a spot in there, or maybe we'll crash CHSN or WGN's pregame broadcast NWO style and at one of the bars and just we'll see what we do.
Well, I saw that the Scottsdale, Arizona. I got this email from our friends at Circus Sports.
Oh, nice.
Today. At the barn, Heat Daddy's Hockey Night in Scottsdale podcast is going to be there.
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that will be happening there at the hockey barn. Is that the one with Jordan Schmaltz?
Perhaps
the Scottsdale one.
I
think that's
know.
The one with Jordan Schmaltz.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, it's gonna be a cool night. I'm excited to be there. The uncertainty of our particular situation has me a little stressed out right now. But I think after today, where we've got, practice at 3:30, media availability after that, then the Blues practice at 5:30, so dinner time, and then we've got the media skate. If I can round up a pair of skates, I'm gonna give it a shot. And then we got like a media dinner, so it should be a cool night. I'm looking forward to it. I just want to get it going. The buildup has been so long.
I know.
I'm just so ready for it to be here. And every time if we don't have this Winter Classic jersey on set, we actually have it on a clothing rack. Mm-hmm. And from my seat, I can always see it. Like, oh, yep, that's coming. That game's coming.
That's the other part of the Winter Classic that I'm excited for, is to see the jersey matchup on the ice, because I feel like the Hawks blew the Blues out of the water with their jersey design. But it does feel different when they get on the ice and you see all the players wearing it. So I'm excited to see that too, because I think this is a really good design. The
Blues did reveal, and I didn't share this with Sarah, but they revealed their new helmets for the game,
mm-hmm.
and they have a cool logo that I've never seen them use before. It's like a treble clef that spells out an STL. I'll throw it in Slack there if you just want.
Like the St. Louis Cardinals.
Kinda, yeah, but it's like a treble clef too. I just put the Twitter link in there.
Nice.
It is a cool looking design.
We can check out those helmets after we talk about our beautiful sponsors.
Yeah, let's do that first, and we'll get back to you.
We'll also give Sarah some time to work.
Yeah, do us a favor, hit that like button for us before we hit the break zone. And if we have any super chats, we'll get them when we come back on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
And tomorrow's game is not on CHSN, but CHSN is here. And they are the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. The Chicago Sports Network is broadcasting more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and features a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. CHSN is also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the creamy center core. And they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our great 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch Bulls, Blackhawks, and White Sox games all season long.
And even though it's going to be chilly at Wrigley Field tomorrow, it doesn't mean you shouldn't choose chill while watching the game, because those Blue Mountains on your Coors Light can or bottle, they're just going to stay blue longer.
It's going to be so blue.
It'll be like drinking Coors Light in a refrigerator.
It's straight from the mountains.
You don't have a choice. Chill has been chosen for you.
Yes.
And you are going to like it. And you know what? It is the best beer when you choose Chill. So crack open a nice cold Coors Light, whether you're at Wrigley or at home. It's mountain cold refreshment. Like I said, when those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. And when you are watching, if you're not at Wrigley, sitting there at home on your couch, nice and cozy, maybe you got the fireplace going, maybe you got the slippers on, the robe on, whatever you're into, you can get some Coors Light delivered right to your door during the game. Just go to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. That will connect you with Instacart, and they will get you nice cold Coors Light delivered right away. So do that. CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Florian in the chat says, are you there when the Hawks practice today at Wrigley? Yes, we will be. Also, both practices will be streamed on YouTube.
Yes.
So if you can't get into Wrigley anyway for practice, but if you want to watch practice, which, wow.
I mean,
why wouldn't you?
It's cool. It's extra. It's an extra little layer of watching this team play on the outdoor rink. It's cool.
Yeah.
How many people ask like, hey, is prospect camp practice today going to be streamed? It's like, no. No.
I think it's a very specific niche of people.
Sure.
And we love you because it's our people.
But it's still cool. It's still cool to have. If I had nothing to do today, I might throw that on my YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll be able to watch it. Hawks are at 3:30, Blues are at 5:30. That'll be on YouTube. But yeah, we'll be there. So make sure you're following us on our social media at CHGO_Blackhawks on Twitter, at CHGO_sports on everywhere. Emma, our social media director.
That's true.
I don't want to take the role away from her. We'll be there helping us out and making us look younger than we are. So make sure you check that out. All right, Sarah pulled up the Blues helmet.
Yep.
I don't like to credit the Blues for anything, but that is a slick logo.
That's nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than the Cardinals STL, but I like it. I like how that looks. Yeah, and like you said, like it does look like the
Treble clef.
Yeah, I took music classes. Yeah, that looks cool. And again, like yellow and blue like that Sweden, my high school, like it's hard to mess up that color scheme.
De La Salle Meteors. Also, I do like blue and yellow does look good together though.
Yeah.
I will admit that. All right, why don't we let's hear from Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno. If you missed this, by the way, they were guests, I think this was last week, on the What Chaos podcast. Tons of good stuff, wide-ranging interview. Oh, yeah. We do encourage you to go find that. I know they're talking to Alex Vlasic either today. Or it is today. Yeah, so they'll have Alex Vlasic on today, so don't miss that. But just there was a little bit of a sidebar about playing in the Winter Classic and what kind of a experience that is. Here's Foligno and Hall, courtesy of our colleagues at What Chaos.
Because I wonder like how strategy changes when you play when you're playing outside.
Game. It's a weird hockey game.
It is, but not to cut you, I just think if you take it for what it is, it's unbelievable. I think that's what, like, you have to get past.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I think people are like expecting it to be a normal hockey game, and it's not. It's like you're playing outside in the NHL. Just have fun with it. You know, like as much as it's a game that matters, it's just an awesome game. Like it's when do you really get this moment in time, right? Like we don't get this very, like hockey's fun, don't get me wrong, but not that fun, right? Like in a normal game, you're outside, it's kind of hilarious. Like that goes on in the game is if you're not enjoying it, I think that's where you get caught up.
I remember the day like very vividly. And we play at Wrigley, so Fenway and Wrigley, those are two pretty solid outdoor games. Like I live 15-minute walk from Wrigley Field, so my family will just walk to the game, which is awesome.
That's amazing. So, and there should be less pressure because nobody at the game can see what you guys are doing anyway. So you shouldn't be worried about how you perform.
It's a good point by DJ.
Yeah, halfway through the first, people are like, "All right, let's just talk," because it's way over there.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looks like the same setup as 09 in terms of like the orientation of the field.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
It's still the same that
But
way.
if you think you've got great seats right behind home plate, I've got bad news for you.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be up higher for the Winter Classic.
Yeah, and that was the outdoor game that I saw at Soldier Field. It was like we were far back, but at least we were up, so you got to see everything.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, and to Foligno's point, like I really do hope that is something that the rest of the team kind of takes to heart, and it's just like, especially the way that they've been playing, just like kind of get outside of yourselves.
Yeah, enjoy it, have fun,
and yeah, just kind of like look at it as an isolated. Yeah, it's still a regular season game, it still counts. It's it's part of your 82, but take it out of that realm of like just another game, and take it for what it like. Take in the spectacle of it.
Yeah, I think just realize how fortunate you are to do this, and I think in any industry, no matter what your job is, from coroner to mega superstar musician or rock star or soccer player, football player, whatever it might be, there are days where it just becomes mundane, right? And you just kind of like, you're just kind of going through the grind. I hope these guys take the time to recognize, as crappy as things have gone over the last 4 games, to realize that this is a special day. And it's something, Taylor Hall said it, he remembers it vividly, his game in Fenway.
Oh, yeah. It's
something that they'll never forget. And I really hope that hockey-wise, they do kind of recognize that this is going to be more of a slog than usual.
Yeah.
And the stuff we've been critical of them about for much of this year, about your inability to simplify the game and trying to do too much, like
you're gonna be forced to play
that would be a recipe for disaster in an outdoor game.
If they're overpassing in this game, it's gonna be 7-1 Blues.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awful. So they're gonna have to realize, if not today, at practice, and they see some of the conditions and stuff, even though it's right now it's a really nice day.
Right now would be perfect for the Winter Classic.
This would be today's weather would be wonderful for this
how
game.
difficult would it be to move it to today?
You know what's hilarious? The first New Year's Day, the weather is also going to be very nice.
Yeah.
It's like only New Year's Eve, only between like 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock is it like, it might be pretty crappy.
Yeah, it might rain.
So, but yeah, I mean, they're gonna see what the ice is like with the conditions. Get a feel for the space and stuff, because that's another thing too with like you play in arenas and everything. You get used to the rink is all the same, but you get used to it being surrounded by people. And you're especially for goalies, like your vision with like picking up the puck and how your perception of how things play in space, you get used to that. So then you get into a situation where the rink is still there, it's still all the same, but there's all this space between you and the stands, and it just kind of like expands everything.
Yeah, it's the depth perception, I think, is going to throw people off.
That'll be something that they'll have to. That's another part of this game that like it's different. Like you have to get used to it. And I remember people last year talking about playing the Coyotes at Mullet Arena because it was smaller.
Yeah,
it was just like, it felt different. It felt like kind of the rink again. I feel like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers. It's all the same size, but it just felt like everything was smaller and more compact because it's different than playing in front of 20,000 people. And it'll be, I think they'll take some adjusting, and some of these guys. I mean, it's not the first time playing outdoors for some of these guys, but I wonder if we'll hear from Nolan Allan. Be the first time experiencing something like that for him. Like I wonder how that'll adjust for him.
Yeah, and I think this is where you lean on the guys who have done it before. Foligno, Hall, Connor Murphy played at the Notre Dame because he's been a Blackhawk for 47 years. People forget that.
He would not have been in the 2017 Winter Classic.
I don't,
because he came over in the summer of 17.
Yeah, that's right.
So he was after that one.
Yeah, so lean on those guys that have done it before. Get those tips. I'm glad they're having their practice today around game time.
Yeah.
3:30. The game's at 4, so the sun will be roughly about the same. I mean, tomorrow's supposed to be cloudier,
doesn't seem
but
like there's going to be any sun.
They should
tomorrow.
get a feel for the depth perception. But again, once the crowd comes in and that dimension is added, it's going to change the way things look for them too. So
right, yeah.
I'm going to be very curious that we're going to be down at ice level, which will be nice. We'll be able to actually see like what is the sight line for a player. Like you think about the batter's eye in a baseball game,
right?
For the hitter, so he doesn't have to look at fans behind the pitcher. I wonder if they have it orientated where, there's a bit of a batter's eye for the hockey players at least.
Don't know.
Yeah, it'll be that's the stuff I'm really curious to see today.
That's a big thing for the goalies.
Oh,
like to
100%.
pick up pucks that are like floating and stuff, or something ringing around the boards. Like if That's going to be interesting. So
And they've mentioned that, and I know I think is this Mrazek's fourth?
fifth. This would be his fifth. Yeah.
2 is a starter and 2 is a backup, and then whatever happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd imagine he gets to start.
I think he will.
It's funny. It's something I've been thinking about too. Is like as we're talking about lineups and who should sit and who should be punished. Like, I think some of these free agents may have been told like, "Hey, Winter Classic. If you're on the fence about here or somewhere else, it's a chance to play at Wrigley Field." And maybe there were some promises made here or there.
Maybe
I think that's under the table handshake kind of things like, "Hey, you're going to play if we have the Winter Classic."
It's probably also a motivation, as we talked a little bit about last night, for guys like Alec Martinez and Craig Smith, like to be, hopefully trying to feel as best as they can. Haven't seen anything regarding their health statuses. We'll see at practice today if they're participating or anything like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, I think, as much as we talked about it last night about like Brody, I think has earned his spot in the press box. That might come not tomorrow, but maybe the game after.
Yeah. But he'll be able to see the game so well from the press box.
Well,
maybe that's what he wants.
You never know.
It just doesn't feel like Martinez was not on the ice before practice Saturday. He was on the ice before the morning skate or before the morning skate yesterday.
He was at the optional yesterday. As was Craig Smith.
First time Martinez has been on?
No, he had been on before practices at home before the Buffalo game as well. And I think he was actually skated before one of the practices before the break.
Okay.
I believe.
All right. So
he's been skating. Craig Smith has been skating too.
I mean, Smith before practice Saturday looked good. Looked ready to go. I mean, obviously it's different from taking contact and stuff like that, but
right.
It looks like all of them are close. And even before Seth Jones was coming back, Sorensen was sort of saying, they're both pretty close.
Getting there,
yeah, they're getting there. So wouldn't totally shock me if Martinez played tomorrow. I would welcome it if it meant TJ Brody is sitting. Yeah. And I hate to just bag on a guy because we get frustrated with it all the time where people they find their person to hate on and they just dig in. But he started bad. He got a little better for a stretch. And the last couple games for him have been a disaster. And I do think that when you have young guys playing well, like Louis Crevier, who came out and played well yesterday, and Wyatt Kaiser's back, you want to hold veterans to the same, accountability that you do young players. You can't just punish the young guys when they don't play well. Like Philip Kurashev, didn't play well. Sat out 4 games in his most recent stint of scratches. Fine. Message received. He's come out, been better in the last 2 games where the Hawks were terrible as a team, but he was okay. But you can't just hold the young players accountable that way. There's got to be some accountability for the veterans. So we'll see. I just think that health is playing a role here, but I don't know. I'm not taking Crevier out after the way he played yesterday.
I probably wouldn't. And you brought Kaiser up to play, so he's got to figure in somewhere. But we'll see. We'll see in 3 hours. No, 2.5.
Not soon enough. All right, we got to hit the break zone one more time. Do us a favor. Got a lot of people watching, not a lot of people liking. That's become a trend. Let's break that trend. Let's hit that like button. If you want the Hawks to win the Winter Classic tomorrow, smash that like button. If you want TJ Brody to sit tomorrow, hit that like button. If you want the St. Louis Blues to be embarrassed on Wrigley Field ice, hit that like button. We'd appreciate that. We'll be back with a whole bunch more on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. But I want to tell you about our new friends at Verilife. And if you're looking for the perfect way to elevate your day, Verilife Dispensary has everything you need from premium cannabis products to expert advice. And whether you're new to cannabis or a connoisseur, their knowledgeable bud tenders, see what they did there, are there to help you. They've got 8 convenient locations across Illinois. Discovering. Sorry. Sarah just tried to get up with her headphones on and almost took her head off. They've got 8 convenient locations across Illinois. Discovering your perfect experience has never been easier. They proudly offer a price match guarantee at Verilife. ensuring you get the best value by matching local competitors' prices on eligible products. Don't miss out on our latest deals and exclusive offers only at Verilife Cannabis stores and online at verilife.com. And if you mention the code CHGO25 in store, you'll receive 25% off one regular price item. Restrictions apply. But if you order online, then you go pick it up, mention that code, and they will apply the discount. So don't worry about entering a code online. Just when you go to pick it up, say, hey, by the way, I've got a promo code I want to apply, and they'll take care of it for you at Verilife.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good way to do it.
Yep.
And Jay, I know that you told me, but I remembered it this time. Do you know?
Wait. Oh, God. Pop quiz time.
That ComEd can help businesses save money by becoming more energy efficient?
Yes. I do remember that ComEd does that.
Well, good. Does everyone in the chat out there remember? If not,
See most of you raising your hands.
I'll
Not
remind
all of
you that the energy efficiency program from ComEd can help find up to 35% in energy savings.
Yeah. And remind people what businesses should do, Mario.
All businesses need to do is sign up for a free facility assessment at comed.com/biz.
So why aren't more people doing it, despite our constant reminders?
It could be because they just do not remember the website.
Well, we're going to drill it into their brains right now. ComEd.com/biz.
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 Biz. B-I-Z. Hopefully everyone remembers that. Terms and conditions do apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customers' energy usage and rate, and the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
All right, well, we've talked a little bit about some of the guys that have played in these games before. One guy who has not played in an outdoor game before is Nolan Allan. I had a chance to catch up with him after Saturday's practice and got his thoughts on the upcoming Winter Classic. Is this something that you kind of had on the calendar, like, man, Winter Classic might be a really for me this year?
I mean, no, not really. I wasn't even thinking about it, but just obviously thinking about coming to camp and, just try and make a good impression. And, hopefully, my goal this year was to hopefully get in a game or two. But I didn't really expect to be here right now. So I'm super grateful to be here.
Now that it's here, how are you preparing?
Yeah, getting pretty excited, obviously. Still don't know, if I'll be in the lineup, but, got some friends and family coming down this weekend or this week. So, it should be fun to, get to see them and then, hopefully, get to be out there.
Have you talked to any of the guys who have done this before about how to play differently, what you need to be prepared for in terms of like sunlight and ice conditions and those sort of things?
Actually, no, I haven't really. I've just kind of been focusing, day to day just on the games that we have before, obviously. And I'm sure once we get there and practice and stuff, we'll have more conversations about it and, talk about, I guess, the ice and, how it's going to be. So, should be super exciting.
He plays it cool.
Yeah.
But he said, I did not expect to be here at this point in the season.
That's an interesting little nugget there. But yeah, honestly, did when he was in Salt Lake, it was just like, oh, hey, you're here. You're making your NHL debut. How cool is that? And then for him to still be here with no whiff of, well, maybe Nolan Allan's going to go back. None whatsoever. He's never been in the discussion, never been really a thought of like, I think Nolan Allan needs to go back to Rockford. Not at all.
Scratched once?
He was scratched, I think, one of the earlier games.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
But because he was here, and just like, was it an injury? Someone wasn't ready at the start of the season. I already forgot. But there was something like,
was it Martinez?
One of the defensemen. No, Martinez played, I believe. One of the defensemen was just like not ready to go at the beginning of the year. Was it Murphy? I can't remember. Anyways, Allan was in, and he's just never left the lineup. So that's got to be pretty confidence boosting for him. And he's played well, and he's continuously getting good minutes, good assignments. And it seems like under Anders Sorensen, his game is growing. But yeah, getting in to the Winter Classic when you didn't know it would be on your radar to start the year, got to be pretty cool.
Allan, Brody, Jones, Martinez, Murphy, Vlasic. Those were your 6 on opening day. Kaiser was out.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kaiser wasn't playing.
Yes.
Right. Yes, because he had the
whatever
medical
the
thing.
situation
That's
was.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was something. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's and Nolan Allan, a guy like Frank Nazar, is in that situation too. Like I know the way he played, he probably thought, hey, I might get up there by the time for the Winter Classic. But to start the year in Rockford and not really know exactly if and when he'd ever get up to Chicago this season. Now he's gotten an opportunity to play in it. That's going to be really cool. And obviously Connor Bedard knew he was going to play in it. But now that he's at that spot, like these young guys being able to do that is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I feel like Nolan Allan is part of the season that has been not talked about a ton. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of strange. Like there's been a lot of other stuff going on. Obviously, you got a coach firing. Connor Bedard is on the team. Frank Nazar got called up. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of things that grab that attention. But he's been just so solid. We talk a lot, and I'm not making this comparison yet by any means, but we talked about how Alex Vlasic has gotten to that like set it and forget it kind of a mindset. Nolan Allan has kind of been that way too, where he's in, he plays well, even if he's not like jumping off the score sheet one way or the other. He's just steady. He's right in the middle. He's played with pretty much everybody in every role.
Yeah.
He's shown a little bit of he's not scoring, but like a willingness to engage offensively.
Yeah. Since the system change, it's been noticeable in all the defensemen, but especially with him jumping into plays more, getting involved more in cycling the puck and stuff. Like it's been noticeable.
I like his game a lot. And I wonder, for a while, like you said, I didn't expect to be here at this point. I'll bet there was a chunk of the season where he felt like, well, it's just a matter of time until I'm down, until so-and-so is healthy. Yeah. And it just keeps not happening. He just keeps not getting sent to Rockford because Korchinski came up and looked pretty good. And people thought, oh, maybe Korchinski sticks around for a while. And now Kaiser's back. And Nolan Allan has been the constant this year, and he's deserved it. So hopefully he has earned that and feels like he's earned the opportunity he has, because just from our perch every night watching him play, steady. I never am like, what are you doing, Nolan Allan?
Yeah, I've never really come away with from a maybe a few shifts here or there, but there has not been like a stretch of games where you're just like, oh man, Allan needs. Even when he was scratched, I was just like, okay, I guess, but like it wasn't like you were at the point where it was just like he needs to sit. Like I never felt that way, so that's a big thing, and yeah, I think the fact that he's here all year, I feel like people forget he also is a first round pick, even though it was the last pick of the first round, still a first round pick.
Can't take it away from him.
Might have gotten to him in later rounds anyways, but doesn't matter now. Yeah. So yeah, he's one of those guys that I think a lot of people are going to really be excited for when he gets that moment and that stretch of time where he kind of like establishes like, no, I am here. I'm part of this team. I'm a big part of it. I know he's been compared to Nicholas Hjalmarsson from Anders Sorensen's.
Hey, if that's how he says it, it's probably correct.
Swedish to Swedish.
Unlike Anders, which he is incorrect about.
But if Nolan Allan is that kind of, I don't want to say he's going to be Nicholas Hjalmarsson, but if he even,
how about Connor Murphy?
I'd like him to be better than Connor Murphy. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, no, that'd be great
because they have Connor.
But
Murphy.
I feel like Hjalmarsson, like Connor Murphy is like a Hjalmarsson light. Like kind of does the same things, just none of it quite as well.
Extra light. Hjalmarsson extra light.
Yeah, I mean
it's like going from Coors Banquet to Coors NA. Hjalmarsson to Murphy.
Fair enough. So Hjalmarsson NA.
Yeah, sure. No, I would hope Nolan Allan would be at a higher level than that, and I hope the Blackhawks expect him to be at a higher level than that. And I don't want to. And again, I don't want to say like he will be this or he will be Seabrook or whatever. But I think there's of course there's a tendency to do that. But there are aspects of his game that you can correlate and see, like, I see a little bit of this, I see a little bit of that. Like, and as he grows, he's still 21. As he continues to grow and mature in his NHL game, like if he gets closer to those aspects of his game, and you can say like he really looks like those guys of the past, then you get even more excited.
I feel like there's there is a substantial amount of untapped offense from him.
Probably.
You know, and I'm not saying he's going to be Erik Karlsson, NA.
He's not going to be like it's not going to be like a 50, 60 point defenseman.
But a 25, 30 point guy.
Yeah,
like,
that would be
not
fine.
out of the realm.
Even Hjalmarsson's career high was like what, 25 points.
Yeah,
like it wasn't a big part of his game, but
now we just have to find Oduya NA to play next to Hjalmarsson NA. Nolan Allan could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, next thing we want to share with you. This is pretty cool. I got to talk to both goalies about their helmet designs. So why don't we hear from Arvid Söderblom first? He showed off his specific Winter Classic mask after practice Saturday.
A friend of mine and myself just put some thoughts into it. David Fried is the painter from Calgary. 2 legends from the Cups. For that. Logo, Blackhawks logo. Simple, very simple mask. And baseball ball, stitches, my number, and the Winter Classic logo behind it. Very simple mask.
I saw you and Arvid both went with like the matte, the not shiny design.
Yeah, you know what? It's an old school matte, like you said, no shiny. I have one shiny for home games, so a little change up.
Painted by Dave Art, and I tried to do a pretty simple design with the logo and the red kind of matching with the jersey here on the back, all the way over. And then this white part is supposed to kind of look like an old school mask from when you look from it from the front, and it's inspired by the Esposito mask, this part here. And then, as I said, pretty simple design. Winter Classic logo there, some team logos, and then on the back, just some personal stuff. My son's favorite TV shows and just the name down there. So, pretty simple design, but I think it will look great with the jerseys. And as I said, painted by Dave Art, and he did a great job.
Seems like a lot of guys are going with the matte instead of the shiny lately. Is that kind of the new trend? I like the way that looks.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few that's shiny and a few that's matte. I think it's a nice contrast to the shiny ones. It looks great. Yeah.
So how long does it take you when you get the new pads, new helmet, and everything to get them game ready?
I mean, the mask is just to put on. It's ready right away, and then the other stuff probably 2-3 practices. Then they're good to go. So. Today was the second time, and then we'll have one more before the game. So I think we'll be ready to go.
Those are cool.
I love them both.
Those are really cool. I like that both of them have different like touches to the Winter Classic. Where Mrázek went with the more Wrigley and baseball theme, whereas Arvid went with the nod to Tony Esposito and his mask. I like Arvid's better. I like that.
I do too.
Than Peters.
I don't know if it showed up in the video. That will be on YouTube a little bit later today, by the way, if you want to watch it. But in the, for lack of a better word, like the black holes in Söderblom's, there's a reflective. As he turns it, the light catches like the tomahawk logo, a hologram tomahawk logo. And the Majestic American Woodcock says, for a second, I thought it was supposed to look like a catcher's mask for the whole baseball thing. I'd see one of the goalies do like the reflective like sunglass.
Oh yeah,
like the catchers
might actually help.
Yeah, or if a puck gets popped up, he throws it off and he catches it like this. You know, they both looked cool. Both by the same artist, by the way. Dave Art is the name on social media. Always sharing. It's one of the most popular.
He does a lot.
Mass artists.
Yeah. Does a lot of great work.
But find his work on social media, and he shares stuff all the time. But I love the matte. The matte looks cool. And if you haven't seen the goalie pads yet, we've shown them a couple times on the show. They're both the old school leather look. Mrazek's has on the side like red with the black and white stripes. It looks awesome. Mrazek's pads they both look great, but Mrazek's are sweet. And Mrázek had 3 helmets in his locker, and I asked him off mic, like, why do you have 3? He's like, well, one's for me, one's for the team, and then my friend wanted one, so I got him one.
Oh, that's
too.
cool.
So
nice.
He's like, my friend paid for one.
Nice.
So I got him one. I'm really can't wait to see these teams take the ice tomorrow, and I want to see which what the Blues came up with. Like Jordan Binnington, does he have like a full diaper like on the back panel, or is that more of a feature like on the side?
It's just a panoramic like wrap of when Bedard did the Michigan on him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
yeah.
Or just like the entire helmet is like just the poop emoji. There's so many things he could do.
There's so many things
to celebrate.
It could be him throwing a water bottle, like, yeah, just a lot of stuff. Just a picture of him trying to fight somebody and then skating away, like, just good.
There's just so many options.
So many options. Just let Dave Art go wild with the design there.
Yeah. By the way, I saw maybe it was Bar Down or I lose track. All my accounts I follow are hockey now. It was like the Blackhawks legends versus the Blues legends, like which team would win. And they had Jordan Binnington as the all-time Blues goalie.
Who are you going to go with?
Curtis Joseph? Grant Fuhr? Grant Fuhr's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but as a Blue?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably more in the Hall of Fame because of his time with the Oilers. But Uncle Dad.
Yeah.
When I think of Blues it's because of my age, though, I think of Fuhr as a Blue.
Sure.
Because that's when I was really getting into hockey. But yeah, you're right. He's probably more of an Oiler. But Curtis Joseph had great years in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Roman Turek.
Chris Osgood was a Blues goalie, wasn't he?
Yes.
At some point.
Jake Allen and Brian Elliott, who are the same guy in my mind.
Basically.
They're the same goalie.
Brian Elliott, he's like the all-time leader in games played for the Blues as a goalie or something like that. I know Binnington just surpassed the all-time Blues goalie wins column, so I guess going off of that, you would have that have him in there. I mean,
their franchise leaders in goal are not.
It's not a murder.
They're not crazy
not
impressive.
a murderer's row. Yeah.
I was looking at this yesterday. Brian Elliott, their all-time save percentage leader. You know who's second?
Is it Binnington?
Glenn Hall.
Oh yeah.
Can't have him.
No.
Not yours. Yaroslav Halak.
Sure.
It's all these are short term.
They're short term and they're like mid plus.
Yeah.
At best.
Chris Mason, Jake Allen.
Yeah.
Curtis Joseph, Chris Osgood, Roman Turek, Ernie Wakely, Jordan Binnington, 10th. But Binnington has he's the career winner in wins. He's got 154.
Yeah. And
so
he was the
longevity.
goalie that got him the cup too. So I see why they would do it.
Binnington 4th in shutouts for them. Brian Elliott, Jake Allen, Halak, and then Binnington. How long was Halak there? Feels like not that long.
Yeah, I don't think he
1, 2,
might have been
3
few
parts
seasons.
of 4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've never really had a long term, at least in my lifetime, like a long term steady, like a Corey Crawford or Tony Esposito kind of guys.
Yeah, this lineup. This was from Bleacher Report. Open Ice. All time Blues is Keith Tkachuk, Bernie Federico, Brett Hall, Al McInnes, Chris Pronger, Jordan Binnington.
Yep. Lining
up against Bobby Hall, Stan Mikita, Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith, Chris Chelios, and Tony Esposito. In a 7-game series, Hawks win in 5.
I think so. And I am a big Keith Tkachuk fan.
Yeah. But over Bobby Hall.
And I'm a
Stan
fan
Mikita,
of
Patrick
big
Kane.
Keith Tkachuk.
Oh, yeah. True.
Both things are true. 50-goal scorer, quintessential power forward. I will say the Blues are a more physically imposing team with him and Pronger, but Chelios and Keith, good effing luck.
Yeah, good luck.
You're not going to score.
They're never going to come off the ice.
Tonio will stop all 3 shots that those 2 guys allow. But you also have Brett Hull and Al McInnes just blasting slap shots at you. Probably 2 of the hardest shots in history.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll never forget the day that Al McInnes broke Jocelyn Thibault's hand with a slap shot. Like, he made a glove save and broke his hand.
Yeah. Well.
So it'd be closer than I think it gets credit for, but the Hawks are just so top heavy.
Yeah.
With Hull, Mikita, and Kane.
Then
good luck.
Once Binnington gets frustrated, it's I think it's over at that point.
Yeah, which happens relatively quickly most nights.
It usually can.
By the way, we should mention last night Patrick Kane, 1,300 points.
Yeah.
Assisted by Alex DeBrincat, of course, as would make sense.
Had to be.
I know that we get frustrated with all the people that want Kaner back and all that stuff, but he will go down as probably the 2nd greatest Blackhawk ever behind Stan Mikita. And congrats to him, man. He's a legend.
That's awesome.
And Chicago will always be his team, regardless of where he finishes.
Even seeing all the graphics when that happened of like Patrick Kane reaching 1,300 points and they'd have him in all his different eras of Patrick Kane in his different jerseys. The Red Wings one was really big, and then they had the Rangers one, and then the Blackhawks one was like kind of small, and I was just like, it should be reversed.
Yeah,
like he'll still always be a Blackhawk. But it's great to see him get to that point. Second ever U.S. born player to reach 1,300 points. Only 38 players in NHL history have reached 1,300, and he is probably, on the pace he's on this season, it'll probably take one more good season for him to surpass Mike Modano as the all-time points leader for American-born players. I know Brett Hull is a U.S. citizen and played for Team USA, has more, but born in Canada, born in America, because we're Americans that way. Patrick Kane is second to Mike Modano.
And much better than Mike Modano.
More accomplished.
Yes, I'd like to see
Or
him.
no, equally accomplished, I'd say. Modano...
3 is more than 1 last time I counted.
I guess, yeah.
No, it is.
I guess how math works.
It's 2 more.
Yeah. That's true. I thought Modano had 2, but no, he's just the one.
We should mention, by the way, Alex Ovechkin, 25 away from Gretzky.
He's breaking it this year. He is.
He might.
It's the pace he's on is crazy. So I think I saw the stat that the season he scored the most goals in his career, I think, was the 07-08 season. He's on a higher goals per game pace this year than he was that year, and I think he scored 65.
Yeah.
Like, had he not broken his leg, like he might
be a few away.
He might be like a handful away.
And I heard Gretzky, when he gets 4 away, is going to start following him.
That's cool.
I'd make it 6 if I was Gretzky.
Just to be
just
sure.
to be safe. Because once Ovechkin gets close, it's like 800. He's like, what am I doing? 3? Great, I got it tonight.
That was here in Chicago. He was at 979 or 997.
797.
Hey, did you know that I took one math course in college, and that was the last time I took math?
Me too. I took like the remedial high school equivalency math class because I had to, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
You're not gonna have a calculator in your pocket your whole life. Yes, I am.
Oh,
teacher.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up, we should do the food.
97. That's what I was trying to say.
Can we fire up the food, Sarah?
The food.
And I mean, actually bring it in here so I can eat it. I'm looking at these things. Here is the layout. This is courtesy of our pals at Levy Restaurants. All restaurants are my pal. You see the beer hockey stick, a 24-ounce mini hockey stick, available with your choice of beverage.
The beer hockey stick is like, I think, the coolest thing.
Yeah, put Coors Light in there. What are we doing here?
Yeah, of course.
The food-wise, let's take a look at yes, there it is. That is the Chicago-style poutine. If I'm sneaking down to the food area, I'm getting one of these. This is hand-cut fries, topped with juicy Italian beef au jus gravy, white cheddar cheese curds, giardiniera, and sweet peppers, nestled in a Winter Classic mini hockey helmet bowl.
Oof. I like how you said if we're sneaking away for
when.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's no way we are leaving Wrigley Field without one of those mini helmet cups of any. They have these what is it? The slow roasted ribs. Short ribs.
Yeah,
short ribs
rib
poutine. They have like fancy queso nachos. They got the Chicago style poutine. I'm getting at least one of those.
Can you have that?
Yeah,
curds,
as long as they're not breaded.
Oh, they're gonna be breaded.
Will they be breaded? Because traditional poutine is just the cheese, which is fine.
Oh, yeah, you might be right.
So if they do it that way, I'm fine.
Can we get another look at the poutine?
Yeah, let's
see if we can investigate the curd situation. They do not look breaded in that.
Tell. Yeah, I can't really tell. We'll see. I mean, far be it from me to eat around a breaded cheese curd to get to the rest of that goodness. That is definitely going to be consumed. A lot of good stuff. And I saw some people were asking, like, where do you get it? I think there's going to be a specific food concession area that's going to have some of these things.
The poutine is at Marquee Classics in section 117.
There you go. Yeah.
The nachos are section 105 at the Left Field Classics. Hot chocolate and souvenir soda cups will be everywhere. Maxwell Street Polish will be at the Maxwell Grill portable cart near 121, and the short rib poutine is the Addison Street Grill in section 126. So if you're there, try all this stuff. Let us know how it is.
The beer hockey stick says will be available at most concourse bar locations. Perfect.
Pour some Coors Light in there.
Does Wrigley, do they have Coors?
If there's a will, there's a way, my friend.
That's true. Yes.
What was the thing that the football player had, the fake
I don't know.
So he can pass the steroid test.
Oh yeah,
So one of those with
like
Coors
a
Light.
fake bladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, people.
They've got
Every Winter Classic I've gone to, I've gotten my flask in.
Sure.
Well,
yeah.
it won't be
Are you gonna-
tomorrow
are you
because
gonna
I'll be
try
working.
tomorrow?
It won't be tomorrow because I've been working. But
Well, I
a
know
little nip of Jameson here and there on a cold day is.
I've seen those gag gifs where it's like a bra, but like the breast part is just like bags for like wine, and then you do like a little straw up the thing. Yeah.
See,
There's get creative.
There's
We're
a
not
way.
endorsing.
We're not endorsing
you
but
to
yes,
do that.
Not an endorsement,
but
just
there are
the technology
again,
exists.
options to be creative. Should you choose to be creative?
Yes. All right. So Mario, personally, it's our first time covering. What are you looking forward to the most?
I think I'm going to separate it in two things between tomorrow and today, because today I am very much looking forward to the opportunity to skate on the ice at Wrigley Field. I know that you could do it. The last few winters, they've had the Winter Wonderland at Wrigley Field where you can skate.
Yeah,
and
it's different.
It's different because it's the Winter Classic. It's going to be all done up for everything, for all the festivities and for the game atmosphere. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be at night under the lights. Like, I'm very excited for that. That's going to be something I'm going to want to really like take in that moment. And then for the game, I think just the anthem. I'm sure there's going to be a flyover.
Hell yeah.
With Jim Cornelison like belting it out.
Wait, Jim Cornelison's going to fly over?
He might.
That would be awesome.
He might sing the anthem as he's flying
Sign me up for
the
that.
bomber plane or whatever.
He could parachute in while singing.
I think he could. I think he could handle
There's
that.
still time to make that happen, Blackhawks.
Yeah, I want to take in that anthem because I feel like it's going to be just to hear a sold out Wrigley Field, the teams on the ice. Like I'm going to want to take that one in a little bit more special, and then yeah, just the game, just to see how it goes. Again, I hope they win. I hope it's a good game. Even if they lose, if they get slugged 7-1, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah,
very disappointed.
Yeah,
actually.
Give me a boring win over it.
I'd be fine with that.
The Hawks fans deserve something tomorrow. Like they deserve, after what they've been through for the last few years, they deserve they deserve a good outcome. I'll say too, it's my first time covering. I am very much looking forward to being down on ice level and like really seeing the scope and scale of everything. Mm-hmm. I've been on Wrigley Field before, working as helping out our reporters at the Score. One time I asked Barry Bonds to come on the radio. That was fun. He just like turned and looked at me. I'll never forget. He like whipped his head at me, like in the little earring he had on, like swung back and forth because he turned his head so fast to tell me no.
Oh my god!
But if he said yes, I would have been a hero. So
yeah.
But I never lose appreciation for being on Wrigley Field.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done the Winter Wonderfest thing before, and you actually walk in through the left field wall.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like you look up in the scoreboards. It is a breathtaking moment. So I'm just looking forward to being on the field level again and just taking in, seeing the view the players are going to see. Do we have a GoPro?
Emma might.
We got to get him. We got to put a GoPro
Emma's
on you while
bringing
you skate.
mini
Fine.
mics, and I'm sure I think she has a GoPro.
Right on my
Good
face.
Stuff, though.
Yeah.
Camera right over my face.
Let's glue it to your forehead.
True point of view videos. Yeah.
It's going to be fun, though. So we are going to be on after the game tomorrow. We're actually going to be in an office in Gallagher Way across the street.
Okay.
So we'll be on as soon as the game, like a typical post game. When the game ends, we'll be on. There's not going to be a long delay. We're not going to try to drive back here.
Well, we'll be doing post game in the
yep.
locker room, and then we'll hit. So give us 30 minutes post game, and we'll be on, maybe less. Anders
is so long winded.
I know, he just goes into so many details.
Wrap it up. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have it covered. And again, today, tons of social media stuff. So be sure you're following us on socials at CHGO_sports everywhere, and CHGO_Blackhawks on Twitter. We'll be sharing tons of content all day long. So next time we talk to you, aside from that, will be after the Winter Classic tomorrow night. Can't wait. It's going to be a great time. Enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show.
We all silly like the mayor.